Hey guys, welcome back to I'm So Frank. It's your girl, Aprille Franks, and we're talking about what do you do when shit goes left?
Yeah, we're gonna be on top, oh, on top of the world, gonna be on top, oh.
So this was asked by one of my longtime community members, Ishameen, in New York City. And she says, how are you so unbothered by things when different experiences and stuff is happening in your life? So here's the truth. It's not that I'm always unbothered. It's just that I think self-regulation is important. I think it's important to understand your emotions, how you feel, triggers, things that set you off, because it's just not cute to be flying off the handle. And I think too, on like a bigger scale, like everything happens for some kind of reason, right? Like everything. And then we always know that after the fact. We're like, oh, now I see why that happened, right? You get fired from somewhere, or you get a divorce, or you meet someone new, or the house that you wanted isn't available, and then the one you really wanted is. So I think it's not about being unbothered. It's just about understanding that not everything deserves your attention, right? Or the magnitude of the attention that you may have previously given things. And for me, the reason why it appears that I'm so unbothered is because I value my energy and I value my time and what I give my energy to. And because I do, then I'm like, well, shit, okay, that's what you want to do? Okay, right? So if it's not really worthy of my energy, or I'm not going to be impacted by it one way or the other, then it really doesn't deserve more than, okay. Let me give you an example. And this is something I have been practicing for years. This isn't new, okay? So I was about 23, living in Dallas, Texas at the time. And me and one of my former girlfriends, let's call her Brianna. Me and Brianna were housemates. It was her house. I was sharing with her. She had a daughter that was 2 or 3 at the time. I had a daughter that was 2 or 3 at the time. I think she was about 3. So our daughters, right, were play together. Me and her were helping each other out. I was coming out of a negative relationship situation. She was coming out of a negative situation with her husband, ex-husband, and we were cohabitating, helping each other, sharing the bills, sharing the responsibilities, helping with the kids. So we really were a support system for one another. Now, one day, and I didn't have a car at this time. She had the car, right? And so she picked me up from work. She came. It was like 9 o'clock. I used to work that godforsaken second shift. I used to work. And I remember she picked me up. I got in the car just like normal. Hey, girl, how you doing? How's the kids? Blah, blah, blah. You talked to so-and-so today? You know, just the regular girlfriend stuff. And I felt her energy. And she was like, oh, it's fine. But it wasn't her regular energy. And so I was like, well, what's going on? And we're riding to the house. Now, mind you, it's maybe a 12-minute drive from my job at that time when I was 23 to the house. And she says, you have to move out. And I said, okay. She said, tonight. I said, can I move out tomorrow? She said, no. I said, okay. I didn't ask why. I didn't fight for understanding. I didn't get upset. I didn't go and destroy shit. When I got there to the house, she had already packed all my bags. So all of my bags were already packed. So this is something she had thought about for a while, apparently, right? In order to make that type of decision. And by the time I get there and gather up all my things, it's almost 10 p.m., right? It's December. And I think it was 1999 or the year 2000, if I'm not mistaken, when I lived in Dallas. And we were actually living in the outside of Dallas in Garland, Texas at that time. And I was just like, okay. So being unbothered and not allowing specific things to get a rise out of you is something that I'm pretty good at. I'm also pretty good at handling chaos. I'm the person in the family that can, that can handle lots of things happening at the same time, that can restore order. And I really do value that about myself. So even back then in my early 20s, I was learning self-regulation and processing and not just reacting. I'm not saying that I've been the best at that in every situation or every relationship, but that's when I knew that me beginning to become who I am becoming now more and more every day, started at a much younger age in my adulthood. And I think it's really necessary that you have to ask yourself, when things happen, like, why are you so amped up? Like, why are you so bothered? Right? Because everything should not get a rise out of you like that quickly or easily or sometimes at all. Right? So just learning how to process information and what do you need to fairly assess. And in this journey that I'm in the feminine energy side, it's really helpful, right? Self-regulation, having a high emotional intelligence. Again, if you're not unfamiliar with any of those terms, I will post a couple of resources in the comments so that you can check them out. But it's really important to me to be happy, to feel good. And a lot of times allowing things to bother you will take you out of that space. It'll take you out of the energy and give you the opportunity to be out of control, right? And to be not in a space where you're making the best decisions. And I don't want to be that. So because I don't want to be that, then I choose to allow a lot of things to just roll off my back. Where most people or some people would be bothered by something, I'm just not. I'm like, okay. And it's not that I'm just pretending not to be bothered. I'm really not. Like, I really don't care. So I think getting to that place is really important for your inner peace, because there's so many things going on around you. You can't control half the shit. So it's like, sometimes you gotta just breathe through it. You gotta flow through it. And when you really start to learn that and start to regulate oneself, then it becomes really helpful. I think a really good book to read on emotional intelligence, and it goes deeper than this too. There's positive intelligence, which I also have taken courses on. There's emotional intelligence, which I have practiced. There's all these things that are all about self-regulation. So I know that there's a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I've read it. There's lots of books on emotional intelligence, which again just means regulating oneself. Let me give you another example. For instance, if something happens and you just fly off the handle, right? So you can have Jim and John, and the same thing happened to Jim. He got fired from his job. He went home. He was kind of sad. He didn't want to tell his family, but he did. And then he started looking for another job. And then there's John. John got fired too. And then he went postal and shot up the fucking place. It's not the same. Like, some people can really manage their emotions, and that is a practice. And the reason why it needs to be a practice is because most of the time we're not taught these things growing up. So we have poor coping mechanisms, poor coping skills, or toxic coping skills. We are unregulated in our emotions, so we react to a lot of things in a way that we later regret. And that's how you know if your EQ, emotional intelligence, or if your self-regulation is not good, right? Needs some improvement. You know that when you later regret it, you're like, dang, I wish I hadn't done that. And when it's frequent, right? So not that it doesn't happen at all, because we're all humans, but it's a matter of, are you habitually doing these behaviors that you're not happy with, that you're later like, damn, I really wish I hadn't said that. And this is really a pattern. Like, I do that all the time, or I've done that with every boyfriend, or I've done that with my kids since they were little. So just asking yourself that and really thinking that through is so important, and it will help you become less involved, less emotionally invested. When you really start to value your fucking emotions, then you stop with just pimping them out for anything that happens. Oh, now you're mad about this. Oh, you jumped on this social media bandwagon. Oh, now we're tearing down this celebrity. Oh, now it's, you stop doing that because you understand the value of your own emotion and where it gets to be distributed. And so for me, it looks from the outside like I'm unbothered, when really I'm just regulating what I care about and what I choose to give my energy to. I hope this has been super helpful. I'd say get started by reading that book. checking out a couple YouTube videos. Again, I'll post them in the description box below that you can get on your own journey to being pretty much unbothered as fuck. I'm Aprille, and I'm so frank. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.